Notice what size it is. Imagine it as some sort of a red, purple, magenta, pink color, whatever visual you get. So we're going to just ignite this love frequency inside of you. Go ahead and see that energy ball growing. Filling your entire stomach. Continuing to expand. We're going to go up. So reaching your solar plexus. So here, what's showing up is trust. So this is a big one when you begin to love yourself and go down this path in this new way. You have to adopt a lot of the old templates will naturally leave. And so those templates could be the different traumas you identify that some of your conditioning and thinking has come out of. And so when you start going against that by now giving yourself that care you deserve and that you were created out of and that you just are that's your birthright, those things, those traumas, those events, those people who have hurt you, family, they can come in and almost seem like you're back at that place where the trauma happened, and you have to remember that it's only resurfacing because it's ready to release. So just among everybody that's doing this and on the call, go ahead and just bring your attention to that space, that vulnerable place between your chest. Anything that's come up for you as I shared that, go ahead and just imagine it start to dissolve, release. Whatever's not serving you can leave. As it leaves, you can show gratitude for it. It served you at some level to get you or give you the experience you wanted to experience. So forgiveness is a big one. So now as we move up to the heart, that's kind of what's showing up, is forgiving those people. And you can let that, you're not necessarily going to know what to do, and you don't need to know, depending on how they show up for you. So some of you might have experiences in the physical, some of you might be having experiences currently. So just check in with your heart here. When you go to that space, notice any sensations that you have in that. You could feel a tightness. You could almost feel like an armor or a protection. Sometimes around the heart it can feel almost like metal. We have things happen, we get hurt, and what do? We put up walls, we put up these boundaries that we think are there to protect us, but actually they just attract more of what we don't want. So if that's currently happening for you, you're finding yourself attracting situations that are like, they almost start to seem like patterns or themes, that's why. You're carrying this frequency. So we're just going to bring forgiveness to the heart, bringing in that frequency, the forgiveness frequency, Because forgiveness is for you. We don't forgive people for them. We forgive people for ourselves. We don't have to carry that burden. You maybe made decisions or choices that you feel weren't right or something, but that's in the old template. The old template tells you and is fear-based that if you have something happen and it goes south or it goes bad or you get taken advantage of, then you're bad. So that's what's actually releasing. So when we choose love, when we go toward love, love is all abundance, it's all being. It never stops flowing. The only thing that stops it is our own thought, actions, words. Go ahead and bring that energy up into your throat, clearing out any filters that aren't serving you. So same thing, filters, templates, no difference. It's just you may have things that you thought were, you didn't even know that your communication or your speech actually comes through something that you're filtering out because you were told that you have to be or look or come from a certain way. So anything that you're noticing there or picking up on that's not serving you, you can release and use your own visual. If you actually just see it, leaving you and recycling into the universe. If you bury it to dissolve it, you can imagine water coming through and cleansing. So now more than ever, we have to be very clear with our word, because everybody's getting that opportunity to stand in their power and be that best version of themselves. So something that I shared on a past call that I'll share here is you can always ask before you speak if you should say what you're going to say. And I know that might kind of sound weird because you're like, well, who's going to answer it? Well, you're developing this, you're developing your spiritual muscle, you're developing your intuition. When you go inward to finally say yes to you, you start having a new relationship with yourself, and you start actually hearing that true voice, that true voice that is actually you, that's actually your soul, that is your higher self, that's God, that's the all being creator, whatever you believe, replace that. Prior to going inward, you're listening to things outside of you, and your ego may be a stronger voice. So when you first went into meditation, okay, that really just shifted you guys in. So before, when you first got into meditation and you were all in your mind and your thought and chattering and what do I do, blah, 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 that's your ego trying to keep you from that experience or getting closer or going inward. So you're breaking through something. So you go inward, you're turning, reflecting and deepening this relationship, finding your true voice, finding your true self, starting to listen to it. So that's why you actually start to ask, if you don't, if you're thinking about what you're going to say and you're actually thinking about it before you say it, you can kind of have a little conversation in your head because you're being guided. So there are things It is now your work. It is your responsibility to share what you're doing with other people. We don't do this work to then just be happy and enlightened. We become more enlightened and more happy by sharing, and that's actually how the world changes. Bringing that light up into your headspace, still seeing that hue of red, purple. It may change as we move through. It's totally fine. It's exactly what you are experiencing is right. Bringing peace to the mind, bringing quietness to the mind. Go ahead and imagine yourself seated in your mind's eye. As you're seated in this command center, just look around and see who's there, see what's there. Are there people? Is it peaceful? Is it chaos? Are you seeing beautiful scenery, objects? Are you at a certain place? And I just want you to redefine that space, almost like you were coming into a messy house and you were starting to clean it up. I want you to just take note of what's there and clean up or kick out anybody, anything that's not serving you that's there. It might actually feel like you haven't been there in a while, because you maybe weren't. So we're just reestablishing your place, your power, your abilities. Invite anything in that you do want there. This could be feelings, characteristics, people, angels, guides. Go ahead and let that energy come up and out of your head. So like we began opening the crown, let that just open up. Anything that needs to release out the top can. Bringing your attention back down your center of your body into your seat, so your base chakra, your second chakra. So your base chakra is love and belonging, your basic needs. And then your second chakra is your sexuality. Bringing your attention there, noticing any sensations. Holding space for this love to nourish and soak in. Putting a seal on your whole and completeness. So just by you being born and being created, you have everything you need inside of you. And when we look at ourselves and make commands or demands, you're actually telling God or the universe or the creator that he didn't, or she, whichever, once again, replace any of my language with what resonates with you, that they didn't do a good enough job.